Okay, let's jump right into the goods here. The first topic that I want to talk about was Tyler Perry. Doing a lot of big things right now.
This man is a national treasure.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I guess.
Would you vote for him if he ran for president?
No.
I might. With the work he's been doing lately, he's actually creating jobs. Right?
That's very true. Yes, I would have to agree with this.
Every president always brags about, an unemployment rate is down during my presidency. It was this or that. And this guy actually created jobs.
Yeah. No, he's doing a lot of great things.
If it was between Trump, Kanye,
no, yeah, I'd have to go Tyler.
Tyler Perry.
You'd have no other choice.
Or Native American Elizabeth Warren.
All right, you might have to go with Tyler for several reasons.
I might still go with Tyler, even though Elizabeth Warren is far more qualified.
No. You know what? Weirdly enough,
I might go with Tyler Perry.
I had some canvassers come to my door, canvassing for Elizabeth Warren this past weekend.
Damn, you called them actually what they were, canvassers. That was most people just ask motherfuckers coming to the door.
That's because I know a little bit.
You opened your door for them?
Yeah.
I always
didn't know
out
who they
the
were.
peephole, especially were they like young white kids?
I wouldn't call them white kids, but young white women.
Oh, I'm definitely looking out the peephole. Get fucking me too.
What? For opening the door?
Yo, you never know.
Yeah, this guy.
I'll say anything.
Yeah, that's a very apparent. Okay, so Tyler Perry, obviously, he sort of got his first sort of major claim to fame by the Medea character, and he sort of cultivated that into a very nice career, where not only does he do that, but he also produces a shit ton of other programming, both for the big screen as well as for television. But he has done something very outstanding. He has recently opened the Tyler Perry Studios lot. Which is a $250 million property in Atlanta, Georgia, and it houses just a shit ton of sound stages, and there's a difference between having a studio, almost like a production company, and having a lot, right? So what he's doing is he's opened a lot, which this boasts, I believe, about 12 sound stages, and that's different from having an actual studio where you actually produce things yourself there, and either way, it's amazing, because I think it's trying to compete with being one of the biggest studio lots in the world, not just in America, and to come from where Tyler Perry has come from to reach the heights that he's reached, doing it sort of the way he's done it is nothing short of incredible. I think what he's doing right now, and one of the big things that I know, and this is coming from a article on IndieWire, one of the things he sort of has always championed is proprietary. Oh my God, I can't even fucking say the word. Proprietorship.
Yes,
there we go.
That's it.
Proprietorship. Amongst the Black community, that if you're going to create some sort of content, be the owner of said content.
Yeah.
And don't necessarily give it out to somebody else so they can reap all the benefits from it while you're still just producing the content,
Yeah.
And that's,
if you look at, where we are today, right? Like Black culture is among the most profitable globally, right? What's the number one genre of music today? Hip hop.
Country.
No,
what?
Hip hop.
Shocking.
I was about to say. You look very. I was about to be like, what the fuck? Hip hop, right? If you look at sports across pretty much any category, black athletes are somewhere at the top of the list, right? Film, now that you're starting to see a lot of whether it's black actors, writers, directors, producers getting like fair opportunity within Hollywood. Ryan Coogler, look at what he did with Black Panther, right? Fruitvale Station, pretty much all of his projects, right? Creed, right? Hollywood is starting to recognize. I think Dwayne Johnson said it best. Like, he's half Hawaiian, half black actor who didn't really fit a mold, created a mold for himself. Now he's the top earning actor in Hollywood. Yeah. So you gotta own your content. You gotta own your brand. And Tyler Perry, he took the success of Medea and he didn't just like live in that success. He was like, all right, I've got to use this as leverage to build from here.
I think he's lived in that success for a while. I'm not gonna lie.
With Medea. Yeah. Well, but at the same time, right?
Yeah.
While
he's done it appropriately.
While he was milking that character.
Yeah.
And if you're going to milk it, you got to milk it all the way and make sure you get every single dollar that can come out of it, right?
And then build on it. Yeah.
Build from there. Now he's the first black movie studio lot owner in history, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
I would love to see him. And we talked about him. Is it Byron Allen?
Byron Allen. Yeah.
Byron Allen.
Yeah.
Love to see them team up, right? So Byron Allen, he's the media executive we talked about on a previous episode. He owns he owns like 49 different television shows across a variety of industries. He most recently bought I think 11 TV stations for $290 million. So he's like a media mogul who's slowly putting together somewhat of a media empire, right? Yeah. Someone like that working with someone like Tyler Perry, I think that'd be a very powerful partnership. This reminds me of Jamil Hill, what she recently said about what if I think she said black athletes should start not necessarily turning away these white universities, but start going and playing for HBCUs, predominantly black universities, right? Yeah. Imagine if, what's that kid's name? The basketball player who just went first round. I always get his name wrong.
Zion.
Yeah, Zion Williams, right? Yeah. Williamson. He's so fucking talented. He was going to go to the league no matter what, right? Imagine if he went to Howard University or a predominantly black school, right?
I think that's tough, right? Because you just like anything else, it's about markets.
Yeah, it's very true.
And I think while he would have been a heralded,
because his talent wasn't going to change.
Exactly. His talent was never going to change. But just like anything else, it's about being in a market where you're going to get the most recognition, the most notoriety. And I think that, unfortunately, going to an HBCU just isn't going to get you as much notoriety than
one by one. No. But imagine, so I think in the NBA draft, if you look at like the top 100 players that were drafted, I think like 65% of those athletes were African American. Yeah. Right. Most of them are coming out of universities that are either diverse universities or predominantly white universities. Like I think Duke had like 3 people go in the top 10. Yeah. Right. Imagine if all of those Duke players played at Howard University. That would change the dynamic of it, right? Yeah. So what we're seeing here is an opportunity for creators, minority creators, to no longer have to create within institutions that traditionally haven't supported them, right? So if you're a black filmmaker, actor, actress, writer, producer, director, a studio like Tyler Perry's is going to be a place where you're going to be able to go and potentially create your content. Well, yeah, without the stranglehold on your content that historically we've seen it in other places.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think that one day he does want it to become an actual producing studio, meaning that they produce their own content. But I think that right now he just wants to. He's actually following a model that I think is very. It's almost like the duh sort of situation where you go from making films to producing said films to owning your own lot, to then turning your lot into your own actual production studio. And so, for instance, like the first film that I think filmed at his studios was Black Panther, and just to list some other ones, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Henrietta Lacks, as well as Rampage with The Rock, and then Ryan Gosling's the First Man, as well as The Walking Dead is currently filming at his lot. So he's not closing your door for anybody. He's like, hey, all comers.
Yeah.
But that's what everybody should do. Like, it shouldn't be exclusive, right? And I'm not saying that from the standpoint of like, oh, you shouldn't be able to help out other black creators. But what I'm saying is if you're actually trying to turn to something that is on a global scale, if you're trying to say, hey, I want to be one of the largest in America, then yeah, you got to open your doors to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you have to parlay that into producing your own content. I think that's what he understands, and he understands the work that goes into it, because that's a lot of fucking work to run your own studio, and then produce your own work on that lot that you own. So one day, hopefully, he can get on par with the Disney, on par with Paramount, on par with all these other major studios that have their own stages. And that'll be a beautiful, and especially being in Atlanta, that's a very beautiful thing.
Atlanta's slowly but surely, identifying itself as, and it's never going to compete with Hollywood, I don't think, because that would have to be an extreme shift in the tide.
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to compete with Hollywood, but it has the chance to become another mecca of
media and film
if
production.
It's not already, which I think it kind of is. But I think that's inspiration for other places like Baltimore, where
if Fabian were her,
yeah, I know, Cleveland,
Cleveland, Ohio,
yeah, when he was talking about Cleveland being the next Hollywood.
Which was a very interesting show if you want to go back
Cleveland
6 or 7 months.
Called. Yeah. So anyways, shout out to Tyler Perry, doing very fucking big things. And a lot of people will throw dirt on him because of his Medea character, and they feel like, okay, that was kind of pushing the black community back a bit. But fuck it. Get it how you can.
Yeah, now he has the opportunity to propel the black community forward. So
absolutely.
Shout out.
So good shit, Tyler Perry. Okay.